Welcome to newspaper analysis session, June 23rd. Topic that we are going to cover today, important one, INS Tamil. Then we will see NPT and IAEA. We have discussed so many times. These things are in the news. So I have provided notes as well today. So what is this NPT? What is this IAEA? So I have tried to provide the content also. And then we will try to see the major highlight of the news today. Okay, USA has bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. So what is the aircraft they have used? Okay, so we will go through this B-2 stealth bomber. So we will see, and then we will try to see some of the articles that have been mentioned in the editorial page regarding the critical and emerging technologies index, and also how the Indian economy has to be steered. Okay, so we will go through this thing, and Strait of Hormuz we have discussed multiple times. Question will come from these areas, and see, we do not know how scenarios might open up, but regarding this USA and Israel and Iran crisis and the US's involvement. So as the situations proceed, we have to understand. So we were guessing things, right? So I told you, okay, India was evacuating Indians, okay, from the Iran. Then I told you, okay, something might happen. Okay, USA might involve. Okay, so things were clear. Probably when I can guess, why not Iran? So Iran also has guessed. Okay, they say, okay, they have already relocated their nuclear facilities. So we do not know. So USA says they have bombed 3 nuclear sites of the Iran, but Iran says no such damage has happened. We have already relocated our nuclear facilities. This is what they say. Okay, so we'll figure it out what will happen. Probably, so why they have to use this level of aircraft is, see, what are the places they have bombed? We go through this page. Okay, can you see here Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan? It is very important for you to remember these 3 places. We have already seen nuclear facilities in Iran. These are the 3 prime important locations that anyway you have to remember. So they will ask you in the prelims, these places in the news belongs to which city? Okay, these are such a famous places, and definitely you have to remember. Okay. So now, why does Israel require the USA support here? These nuclear facilities are built underground. Okay, it is not that easy to bomb by using conventional bombs. Okay, using the conventional aircrafts and bomb those areas, it is not that easy. Whatever the aircraft that is being used by the USA, it is specially designed this way. It is actually carrying a heavy metal kind of weapon, and they are dropping it from such a huge height, so it will be able to penetrate deeper into those hilly areas. So it can go as deep as so many feet, 100 feet, and then it can destroy the nuclear facilities available there. Even it can penetrate the hill areas that are present there. Okay, so USA says it is successful, but it does not look that way from the way Iran is responding. Okay, so if destruction would have really happened, by now nuclear radiations would have also been released. So far, there are no such leakage of the nuclear radiations, but however, IAEA has conducted the emergency meeting, International Atomic Energy Agency. So they have called for the emergency meeting to discuss the possible scenarios. So we need to wait and watch. If any kind of radiation leakages happens, I already told you, okay, this is going to be disastrous. Okay, the radiation leakages can spread many kilometers away from the Iran boundaries. It can spread 1,000 kilometers beyond their borders. Okay, it is very catastrophic, I would say. Okay, we need to wait and see. So Russia is saying we will also enter the game since USA has involved. We will support the Iran. Okay, so basic question is, why can Israel have the nuclear arms and why not Iran? This is the basic question posed by the Russia. Why can Pakistan have those nuclear arms? Okay, if the Iran should not have those nuclear arms, why can Pakistan? Okay, so these are the questions that are being arised. So what the NPT treaty says. Let me come to the thing. I'll come to this B2 again, B2 bomber again. See here. This is the treaty that has enforced since the 1970. This treaty, Non-Proliferation Nuclear Treaty, NPT. India has never signed it. What this treaty says? This treaty talks about non-proliferation, prevents the spread of the nuclear weapons and the weapon technology. Only the countries by then who have already tested the nuclear weapons, only they are allowed to carry the nuclear weapons. No proliferation is allowed for any other countries. Only those P5 countries which are also present in the UNSC. Those France, UK, USA, China and the Russia. Only these countries are supposed to carry the nuclear thing. No, any country should not carry any kind of weapons. And they say, just for the namesake, eventually others also should be dismantling their nuclear weapons, but nothing so far has happened. So this article 4 ensures that right to develop the nuclear energy for the peaceful purposes. Now India is also developing the nuclear energy for the peaceful purposes. So who will say whether the energy, whatever the uranium any country is using, be it India or any other country, is being used for the nuclear purposes or not? Who will check that thing? Who will monitor that thing? IAEA again. So we will allow access to our nuclear facilities. Same is done by the Iran. Iran has also allowed its access to the nuclear facilities to the IAEA, and IAEA has said they are enriching the uranium. They have enriched the uranium to the up to 60% and they have potential to develop the nuclear bomb. This is what the scenario. And Iran has signed the NPT. It is not like India. Iran has signed the NPT. Okay. So they are the one who later on went out of it. See here. 191 countries signed it. Notably, India, Pakistan and Israel have never signed the treaty. North Korea signed and it left. Okay. Iran has signed, but it is not abiding by it. See here, in the first, before the 1979 Islamic revolution, Iran's revolution, we have discussed this Iranic revolution that has happened in Iran. So they have went towards against the West and they have promoted the orthodoxy, conventionalism, like say the Sharia law, okay, theosophical state will have the religion. So this kind of orthodox nature has been taken up by the Israel after that Iran revolution of the 1979. Okay, so till then they used to follow whatever the NPT rules are there, they used to follow. Then after some time period, there is an ambiguity, and later on, in this time period, when the Iran and Iraq war was going on, at this stage, they have tried to enrich their uranium. Okay, then they have then West has imposed the sanctions on them. Sanctions means no country will do the trade with them. If you guys do the trade with them, we will impose more taxes or we will not trade with you. Okay, these kind of sanctions are imposed on the Iran. So their economy struggled. Their domestic economy struggled. They do not have proper employment facilities. Inflations were rising and all. So in the 2015, they made a agreement. We have discussed this thing. So during the Obama time period, they have made an agreement. USA and other P5 countries. Okay, they have made an agreement with the Iran. But later on, when the Trump came, he backed off. Okay, he withdrew from the treaty. Later on, other discussions were going on, and these things were happening. Israel has attacked the Iran, and then meanwhile USA has also joined and attacked these three facilities because Israel do not have that capacity to attack these three facilities. In fact, no country in the world have capability to attack those things. Currently, only USA has this kind of facility to bomb those areas present beneath the hill, beneath any strong area. Okay, so you do not have any such kind of capabilities. Only USA has, and USA has not sold this technology or capability to any country. Not even the NATO member. You have to remember. So these questions can be asked in the prelims. So this is the current situation that we have discussed. If you want to go through the article also, you can go through. So what is this International Atomic Energy Agency? It is an intergovernmental agency. It was founded in 1957 and totally there are 178 members. Headquarters Vienna, Australia. So you need to remember. So what is its key objective? Prevents the nuclear weapon proliferation, promotes the peaceful use of the nuclear technology. They will also check the compliance mechanisms and encourage the scientific cooperation. So they have the board of governors comprising of 35 members. Currently the meeting is going on with the board of governors. These board of governors meet every 2 months. They will meet 5 times in a year. See, 5 times in a year to approve any kind of major decisions. And this is a general conference, annual meeting of 178 members, and there is a director general who will take care of the administrative activities, day-to-day activities. Okay. So these are some core safeguards. So when you are operating the nuclear reactors and all, so they will tell you, they will teach you how to operate these nuclear things. without causing any kind of contamination, leakages, how to scientifically handle them. So all these things they will do, along with making sure that there is no proliferation. Okay, along with this, they will also check if this nuclear energy is being used for the making up of the bomb. All these things they will check. Okay, so these are the parameters that you need to go through. So India has also signed, and India keeps its nuclear facilities open to the IAEA vigilance. Very important. So you must learn these concepts of NPT, IAEA. Okay, all those things. How many members are there? Questions will come from these areas only. Like I am repeatedly telling you. Okay, things that we are discussing, questions will come from those areas. Definitely, you will see around the 25 to 40 questions in the prelims will come from the current affairs. Even same is true with the mains, GS2, GS3 and many things. You will see questions are being reflected in the GS mains as well. We have discussed about the quantum technologies, quantum cryptography. Today I have also provided more notes. There are many articles coming up in the Hindu. So it is a clear sign, clear indication that question can come from these areas. See here B2, stealth bomber. What is this? Okay, this was given in the DNA news analysis. This is an aircraft that can fly up to altitude of 50,000 feet. It can fly up to the 11,000 kilometers without refueling, or air-to-air refueling also it can done. Basically, they are using the stealth capacity. What is the stealth capacity means? They are invisible for the radars. No radar can catch them. It cost almost 1 lakh crore to manufacture just one aircraft. Okay, huge, very, very costly, and technology also very high. No country currently, except USA, no country has this kind of technology. So that's why Israel was waiting for the USA to bomb those areas. Okay, they have bombed it and they have reached back. In an attempt to checkmate the Soviet Union during the Cold War, US fighter jet manufacturing firm Northrop developed the heavy strategic bomber that uses low observable stealth technology to penetrate dense anti-aircraft defense without being detected. Okay, so that is the point that you need to remember here. See here, I have given, okay, first initially it was in the 1989 and it is using the stealth technology. And they use very low noise and it is not detectable by any kind of radars. So these are the points that you need to know. They can flow very high altitude so that it becomes very difficult for the tracking and everything. So they can carry, see here, huge 18,000 kgs of weapons they can carry. It can carry both conventional as well as a non-conventional, even the nuclear bombs. Okay, so they have carried a kind of bomb in such a way which is very heavy, and they dropped it with the speed of kinetic energy and the gravity. Okay, so it is able to go beneath these mountains. It is able to penetrate deeper than the mountains, and then they are able to hit those facilities. Okay, so this is what has happened. So should India buy B2? No, currently we do not have that requirement, because even Pakistan or China is not having that kind of requirement. So it is currently it is not in our need. Okay, so see here it is about the $1 trillion. It is 1 lakh crore. Okay, so are we clear? So like this, updates will keep on coming, and we need to see. So what will happen eventually? Eventually they will come to the discussion. Okay, so basically this is what happened. This will happen because now Iran, they have already launched the counter attack. So they will launch some kind of counter attack and they will block this Strait of Hormuz for a while. So we have seen this Strait of Hormuz. Let's see that thing again. See, this is the point. This is the Strait of Hormuz. This is the Iran. So now you need to, very important that you need to remember the sequence of the countries. Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and here you have south of Oman, you have the Yemen. Must remember all these countries. Now here you have this island, this Qatar. Okay, this is also very important. We import lot of gas from this country, and it also exports gas for so many nations. So now this point is blocked. Now even these countries will be affected if this point is blocked. And also many countries who are import dependent on the oils. We are the third largest importer of the crude oil reserves. So definitely we are going to get affected. But recently our Ministry of Petroleum, I guess, okay, has said we need not worry. We have already diversified our energy resources. We have discussed this thing, diversification of the energy resources. We are in negotiation with the South America. They are already purchasing from the Russia. Previously our purchases, our import from the Russia was very less. It was somewhere around 1%. It has gone up to 25-30%. So we were planning these things will happen. Okay, so that's why we are negotiating with various countries. and we are also maintaining some strategic reserves. That means within India itself, we are importing the oil and we are storing it within India itself and some safe places in case any kind of severe blockade happens. So we can be able to manage at least during the emergency time period. So Minister says we are not facing any kind of severe threat. There will be some kind of challenges, but still it is not that serious. This is what being told. Must remember the mapping portion. So we do also from here. Okay, from here the USA has entered Pakistan using the Pakistan's airspace. They have attacked the Iran. So if something happens again, if Iran, so now in all these places, USA maintains its bases. In all the Saudi Arabia, in the Bahrain, in Qatar, in all these places, USA have the airbase. Now what does Iran say? Every US citizen and every US base is a target of Iran. I don't think Iran is going to attack in that way because now USA is very major power, right? If that is going to happen, so Iran will get destroyed. So no country wants that thing to happen. So it will launch its attack on probably on the Israel using its what is this? Those proxies. Okay, we have already discussed about those proxies in the Lebanon, Hezbollah. Okay, all these Hamas. Maybe using those things, Iran might start to attack Israel. So eventually they will come to the talks. This can happen. Eventually, this is what. If major escalations should not happen, this is what is going to happen. Okay, we need to wait and see, because Trump will say something and again he will react, okay, in a different manner. Okay, so we need to wait and see what will happen. But this is what I expect. Okay, see here, these are the areas. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow channel that connects the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Okay, Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Very important. You have to remember it is in the same line, Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Okay, so these things I have given again already. Next, INS Tamal. So we are developing, see here, the Indian Navy is preparing to commission its latest stealth, multi-role frigate INS Tamal on July 1st in the Kaliningrad, Russia. So this thing here again, you need to understand what is this frigates. You have aircraft carriers, the biggest ships, who are able to carry very, very huge amount of aircrafts, helicopters. They are very huge. INS Vikramaditya, you might have heard, right? These are the aircraft carriers which are huge in size. Later on, you have frigates and the destroyers. These are basically for the attack purposes. If someone is coming to attack you, okay, we are using these things. Submarines are different. These are the ships. These ships are used to attack the enemy. Frigates and the destroyers and the corvettes. These are the three similar kind of things. Size will vary. Frigates, destroyers and the corvettes. So UPSC has tendency to ask if these things are in the news, any recent one in the news, when we are doing any kind of project, then definitely they will ask. So in the 2016, we have made a deal with the Russia. Now see, someone has asked me, okay, are we discussing the previous things also? Now we are going to 2016. We are not just discussing that day article. Okay, this article was given somewhere long back. Okay. So in the 2016, we have made a deal with the Russia. What was the deal? We will develop 4 stealth frigates. In this, 2 will come from the Russia. We will import from the Russia, and 2 will be manufactured in India. And there will be also technology transfer. Okay. So one has been already delivered by the Russia. Another one is now we are bringing it. It is being manufactured in the Kaliningrad. Okay. So where is this? Okay. I'll come to that thing again. See here first. See, check this thing. Okay. 4 stealth frigates signed in October 2016. 2 ships were to be built in Russia and 2 will be built under the India along with the technology transfer. The first of these ships, INS Tushil, has already been delivered, and now INS Tamal is being provided. So you need to remember Tushil, Tamal. Okay. Now where is this? See this Kaliningrad. Here you have the Russia, and here you have the Russian province Kaliningrad. These are the Baltic countries. Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. Okay. At this east of the Baltic Sea. So they have already asked the question, countries bordering this Baltic Sea. Very important. They have already asked, and they will ask It is not that difficult. This is the major area that we need to know. See here, just like we have chicken neck, if this area, Suwalki gap, if this gap is blocked, all these three countries will get affected. These three countries are getting well developed. Basically, the East European countries are not that developed. This was also once a part of the USSR. But once it came out of the USSR, now they have opted capitalism and they are developing well. In future, if some kind of attack happens, if some kind of disturbance happens, now Russia can block this area and attack these three countries. They are getting scared. Okay? So you need to be aware about the Kaliningrad as well as the Suwalki gap. Very important. They may ask. Okay? So I have given this. The Baltic Sea is bordered by the Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Russia and the Sweden. Okay? Then I have mentioned about the Suwalki gap as well. Then the 2016 deal. And then the same thing, INS Tamal. We have discussed about the indigenous component. Within this as well, there is a 26% of the indigenous component. Later on, there will be a technology transfer. And later, the two ships will be manufactured in India. Currently, these are being manufactured in Russia and we are importing them. Are we clear? Nothing more than this. These are the simple things, factual things. Tamal, Tanish, okay, indigenous component, Russia. That's it. 3-4 points. Stealth technology, frigates, corvettes. You need to get that picture of aircraft carriers, and then the next level is the frigates, corvettes and the destroyers. These are the three level of the ships that we have. Destroyers. Clear? Everything clear so far? This part has been discussed. See, there is an article on this. A report was released by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare regarding this organ transplantation issue. See, they have mentioned for this organ transplantation to happen, firstly, we are not able to meet the demand. There are so many, like say 1 lakh kidney transplantations are required, only 18,000 is able to meet. Because in India, we go based on those traditions, cultures and all. So, there is this belief in India, okay, if you deliver your organ, okay, if you don't get burned completely after your death, okay, so you will not get that mukti, moksha. This is a philosophy. So that has to change. So there is there is a lack of supply of enough organs available. Okay, we have so many road accidents, brain dead, things that are happening, but there is still lack of enough organ availability for these things, for any kind of organ failure. We have mismatch between the supply and the demand because of the prime thing. This is the first major issue. Second thing, if you have to donate the organ, now I cannot come and donate organ to you. Okay, it is not possible. Only your near friend, relatives and the extended relatives, they only can do. Or else, in India, everything can happen. Okay, for the purpose of money, because of the huge poverty, people, or for sake of giving flowers, gifts, okay, people will donate the kidneys. So these things can happen in India. So that's why there is a restriction. You cannot go beyond extended relatives. So there is a legal restriction as well. One thing is because of the Indian customs, where there is lack of progressiveness, and also legally also there is a restriction. Apart from this thing, even if the organs are donated for the person, okay, still despite this thing, okay, the still things happen underground. Many times cases will come up. There are those movies, okay, where the person will be kidnapped and his kidney is Nitin's movie. What is that movie? Even it is in the Hindi. Okay, so you might be aware about that movie. Okay, so these things happen really. Okay, these things happen. Okay, you need to link when you watch the movies. Okay, this is about the organ transplant. Okay, you need to think all those aspects. Okay, so I forget the names. I can't. Okay. So basically, I find difficulty in recalling the names. Okay, so that's why I can remember those movies but not their names. What is the movie? Andhadhun. Andhadhun. Maestro. Okay, so there they will show. Okay, so where they are mentioning about this stealing the organs from the antagonist in the final ending scene. Okay, these things happen. These things happen in India, okay, underground activities, there is a strict regulation and all. Still these things happen. But apart from these things, what is being mentioned by our Ministry of Health is, see, even if I transplant the organ to the other person, even if he's getting the organ, still he need continuous monitoring. He needs some kind of care, palliative care, medicines. That is not happening. Again, that is costly. There is no support there. In order to transplant the organs, you also need ICUs. No sufficient ICUs. Hospital beds are not there. In order to store your organs, you need cold storage facilities. Or else, even if we donate the organs, if they are not properly maintained, what is the use? Okay, these are the problems that are being faced. Since it is in the news, you guys need to have this clarity. They can ask in the mains or even in the GS4s. So having clarity on this thing is very important. See here, infrastructure deficiencies. There is a significant shortage of dedicated infrastructure for organ retrieval and the transplantation in the government hospitals, including the specialized operation theatres. Lack of ICU bed. Okay, so causing many institutions lack in-house human leukocyte antigen cross-matching laboratory facilities. So basically, you do not have all those kind of facilities, all those labs, all those equipments, ICUs in order to do those organ transplantation, and also you do not have the you do not have the human power, skilled human power. Okay, so do these kind of activities, and also in order to get the approvals to transfer organ from one person to organ or another person, there is also again requirement of bureaucratic procedures and all. There will be delays. By then all the things that is unfortunate that will happen. So these things, along with this thing, financial constraints, insufficient funding is a major barrier. It is everywhere. We are not, today we will discuss one report where it says we are lacking in technology in everywhere. In semiconductors, we are not progressing. In AI, we are not progressing. In quantum technologies, we are not progressing anywhere. We are not leading. USA is number one in everywhere. And China is almost close to USA. Now, if something happens with the China, how can you compete? You are nowhere close to European nations, nowhere close to the Australia, because there is a funding constraint. Okay. So, lack of enough funds is always affecting you. How much amount of R&D is spent on this area? How much percentage of the R&D is spent on the research? 0.7. Okay. So 0.7 it has to be. 3% is 0.3%. It is again huge. Okay. So we are talking about various things. So how can we use this insurance health scheme so that people benefit? People make use of these things to get the extra resources that is required for the safe organ transplantation and the cure that is supposed to they are get. Okay, so we are going through these things. These are the recommendations. Now here itself I have also taken some things from the government website. Need for the organ transplantation. It is always there. See here, potential from the road accidents, low donation rate. In India's organ donation rate is less than 1% per million compared to the Spain's 48. Spain is number one in the organ transplantation. Okay, so they may confuse you. Okay, India is number one in the organ transplantation. Okay, you may not have studied, but by reading this thing, you get the analysis. This is how you will get the clarity to eliminate the options. Okay, India is number one or India is in top 5. Nowhere in the top 5. Okay, so you have to answer in that way. See here, this is a major important act. TOTA, Transplantation of the Human Organs and the Tissues Act. Human organs and tissues, everything can be transplanted. Okay, purpose, the act regulates the removal, storage and the transplantation of the human organs and prevents on the commercial dealings. This is what I said. Okay, if in India, if it is not properly regulated, everything can be commercialized. Okay, so the very cruel things can happen. Okay, so that's why even surrogacy, commercial surrogacy is banned in India. Are you guys aware what is a surrogacy? Okay, so detail we will discuss. Not test tube babies. Okay, surrogacy means renting the womb. Okay, so if any person, any female is not willing to go through that process of pregnancy and delivery, okay, she will hire another woman to provide a kind of rent for her baby. Okay, so in a simplified format, that is the thing. Okay, so she is called as a surrogate mother. She will go through the pregnancy, she will go through the delivery, and finally baby will be delivered. Okay, so that commercial aspect has been stopped in India because it will be exploited, because India has huge poverty. For the sake of money and all, anything can happen. Okay, where people are struggling for the food, so for their children, so these things can happen. So unfortunate things. So that's why. Okay, so we prevent any kind of commercial dealings. Key provisions: brainstem death. Okay, only in this case, only in 2 cases, one person is allowed to do the transplantation. Okay, when the brain is dead. Okay, so no more the possible of the life, or in the case when the person is from the near relatives. Only in that case. Previously, it was only close relatives. Later on, the 2011, because it is becoming very difficult, it has made as a near relatives. Okay, it has extended relatives. Okay, organ donation is possible from individuals declared brainstem dead, allowing for the donation of the vital organs. Living donors, including the near relatives such as parents, children, siblings, and the spouses. Non-relatives can donate with authorization of the committee approval. This is what I mentioned. Okay, bureaucratic delays. Okay, there are so many bureaucratic delays that are going to happen. There will be proper institutional structures, and if any kind of, there will be clinics to store this kind of organs, and if any kind of issues they've noticed, there can be punishments as well. Everything is mentioned here. Mandatory inquiry and consent process for the potential donors in the ICCU. And there will be national network and the registry that will be properly maintained. Okay, you also have this kind of NOTO. Okay, very important at the national level, state level, at the regional level. National Organ Transplantation Program. Okay, so to promote the organ donation, transplantation, to increase the awareness, we have created this program. And as per this program, organization awareness is also being generated, so that this increases the more and more donation. We got the power back? Okay. So these are the problems: organ trading, reluctance to donate the organs, lack of awareness and all. So if the mains question is asked, you will be able to write, right? So organ transplantation issues in India, so you will be able to write. So in the suggestions you can also add, we have not discussed AI. Okay, we can write here. That day we have discussed about this thing, not AI, just this thing, UAVs, drones. Drones can be used, we can use these drones to transport these organs. Okay, quick, faster transport. These things can be done. Okay, so even the AI can be used. Okay, to check where it is more need, requirement and all. Okay, so everything that is required for the mains I have provided. See, all this content making is taking huge amount of time. You need not again make notes and all. I want you to utilize these notes, study them, revise them again and again. Okay, you have already huge content here. So much of the content is being covered here. So like I said previously also, when you listen to the conventional topics like geography, history, except those things, even when you are going to do the polity, IR, security, science and technology, you will see many of the areas are easy for you and you are already aware of it. It will become very, very easy for you. So prepare them, revise them well. Use these things effectively. Only then it will be helpful. If there is no revision, it will not be of that use. Now, Totapuri mangoes. Anyone had this? Totapuri mangoes? You guys might be aware from where it is. Okay. Where are they famous? In Andhra Pradesh, Chittoor, Nellore, in these areas. Okay, they are very, very sweet, tasty, but current reason why they are in the news is price crash. Okay, what happens is when the farmer is not getting good price for that, they will not be willing to sell those things. They are like, so if you see in the Andhra Pradesh news and all, they are throwing it on the roads. Okay, such a huge tasty mangoes, because they are not getting the good return. Okay, 6 rupees per kg, 5 rupees per kg. Okay, they are getting this is the price they are getting. Even let's say this Totapuri mangoes are also found in the Karnataka and the Chennai regions. These states are also selling it in the Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so recently Andhra Pradesh has imposed the restrictions on the movement of these mangoes from the Karnataka. Okay, so that's why it is in the news, where farmers are not getting a good price. So in these cases, in these scenarios, government should make a move where these mangoes can be taken and can be developed into the food processing, can be sent towards the food processing areas. Where, see, now if I have to use the mango, maybe if I have to use it in a raw and fresh form, only 2 or 3 days I can use it. But if I process it, if I make it masa mango, I can use it for the 6 months. Okay, now mango related whey proteins are also coming. Okay, so everything. Okay. So, but not every farmer has this kind of freezing cold storage facilities. So, they have to be properly procured from the farmer and they has to be sent to those areas where there are such freezing cold storage facilities are available. So, they can be processed and stored, and in this way, consumer will also get good returns and the farmer also can get the good return. This should happen. Okay. That's why it is in the news. See, many people, okay, well, first, we also have this kind of GI tag for few of the Indian mango varieties. Okay, I have mentioned it here. I think I forgot adding here. Okay. So we have GI tag for this. Okay, there are 4 mangoes where we have the GI tag. Okay, I'll share it with you. Alphonso, you already are aware, and Banginpalli is also there, and another one, UP is one. What is the famous variety from the UP? That is from the Maharashtra, Alphonso. Okay, that is the largest exporter of mango. Okay, that variety is we export it more. Okay, there is one more from the UP. UP is the largest state producing of mangoes. After that UP, we have the Andhra Pradesh. So we have got GI tag for 4 mangoes: Alphonso, Banginpalli, and that the UP variety. And I think this another one more 4th variety is this Totapudi, if I am not wrong. Okay, later on I'll check and I'll add those things. And see, many people think this Kesari. Which one? I don't think that is one. Okay, we'll see. We'll check. So many people think the mangoes are fatty food. Okay, no. Okay, they are very good. Very good. Okay. Malda mangoes from West Bengal. Okay, let me check. Okay, so these mangoes are high in vitamins, minerals, and the antioxidants. Many people think these mangoes are high in fat. There is a fat. They are high in carbohydrates. Okay, they are not fat food. Okay, so including these mangoes in your diet is very, very important, because see, they have the vitamin A and vitamin C. Okay, this is good for vision and the skin also. So for the skin, you need to have this thing: calcium, potassium, magnesium. So many people will get okay, what is this? The night cramps. Okay, so they will get leg cramps and all. So this is primarily happening because of the lack of important minerals like potassium and the magnesium. Okay, so if you are getting those pains, okay, so it means you need to include mangoes, bananas in your diet. Okay, so this is very important source of nutrition. Antioxidants, okay, this will fight oxidative stress that is released in the body. Oxidative stress means when your body is utilizing oxygen to generate the energy, some kind of free radicals are released in your body. It has to be neutralized. So for those, you need again antioxidants to neutralize those radicals that are being generated in the body. So you have very good amount of all these things involved in your mango. Only thing is you need not overeat them. That is the point that has to be kept in mind. Small mango, 1 or 2, that is fine. Okay, this is the point I was talking about, critical and emerging technologies index. So this was the index published by the Harvard Kennedy Schools, and this index talks about these things: semiconductors, AI, biotechnology, space and quantum. Only in the space area, India has some amount of lead. We are doing little bit well. In rest of all the areas, even in the biotechnology, we have mentioned various things, but still even in the biotechnology we are struggling. In the quantum technology, everywhere we do not have enough semiconductor manufacturing anywhere in India. Without those things, we cannot develop the AI and quantum technologies and all. We have allotted just 6,000 crore. Even that thing we have seen in the editorial, one of the editorial, where there are bureaucratic delays. Funds are not being released. Funds are not being efficiently utilized. So these are the scenarios that we see. And everywhere USA is leading and China is catching it, closing the gap with the USA. And overall Europe is the third. India's performance is mid-range. Somewhere only in the space we are doing a little bit better. In every area we are struggling. Nowhere we are doing any kind of low private sector investment. That's why I have asked how much R&D, 0.6%, and whatever the investment of R&D that is being 70% is by the government. Very low contribution from the private sector. And there is also no coordination between various institutions. Every institution is doing their own research. There is lack of that kind of coordination. We have also mentioned, discussed something, okay, here, creating a body which brings some kind of coordination, all these things. In previous editorials, we have discussed this thing. okay, bringing for some kind of harmony for this R&D activities. Okay, so this is about your technology related thing. Now, steering the Indian economy among the global challenges. So, what kind of global challenges that we are facing? Primarily is the trade war. So, this article says, see, we have almost more than $100 billion economy with the USA. We trade a lot with the USA. Same with the China, more than $100 billion. But with the China, we have the trade deficit, huge amount of the trade deficit. That means we import more from the China. But in case of USA, we export more. We export various kinds of jewelry items, agriculture items, and also this mining related things like say raw steel, iron, not steel, iron, aluminium. Okay, so these things, so many things we export to the USA. So when you are exporting these things, if any kind of trade gets affected by USA, India is going to struggle. So this article says we have to make proper deal with the USA, make some kind of agreement with the USA. So if you can sit, negotiate and discuss, so we can make a proper deal and this can help India. So this thing, one thing should happen. Second thing, there is so much of dumping is happening from the China. We discussed dumping means in one line, what is dumping? No, not that dumping. In trade. Low cost, it is only half the definition. Whatever the price in their domestic country, they are selling it less than that price in India. Okay, for suppose they are manufacturing the steel. If the steel, whatever, let's say there is a 100 rupees price for the steel. Okay, in their China. Now they are dumping it in India for 70 rupees. That is different, not subsidy. They are selling it in India at the lower price. This is called dumping. Whatever the price value is there in their country, they are selling it less than that price. This is called dumping. So we need anti-dumping those things. Subsidy is different thing. So we. No, somehow they are able to manufacture at the lower price. If we notice they are giving subsidies, then we'll import countervailing duties. We apply two types of duties: anti-dumping duties and the countervailing duties is for the if we notice they are giving the subsidies. Now, who is collecting this kind of information? WTO. We discussed that day. Various committees are there in the WTO. They will get this kind of information. They will collect this kind of information, and WTO itself is giving us powers to apply those things. So we need to do these things, these two things. We have to make proper deal with the countries like USA, and we have to also impose dumping duties. And at the same time, if you see, we are also taking the expansionist policies. Understand this. RBI has lowered its interest rates. In the recent budget, government has also lowered its taxation rates till 12 lakhs. There is no tax. Taxation has been reduced. So now people have more money. So what did I say? When the people will have more money, they will spend more. The economy has to grow. But in the last couple of months, still the economy is slowing down. If it does not pick, then India is going to face the problem. Even when you are pushing more money, still the demand is not picking up. Still the companies are not going to produce. Still there is a higher amount of unemployment. Then in that case, country might struggle, country might suffer because we have used both the tools. There is a possibility of rising inflation. Now what will you do? We have discussed this thing. What can we do if the inflation is also high and growth is also not picking up? So then it can be a very difficult scenario. Right? So currently, since we do not have the inflation, we are able to lower the interest rates. What if tomorrow, since we have pushed more money, interest rates rise and not the growth rates? Then it is going to be a very tricky and the difficult situation for the India. So before that, we have to take some kind of policy measures, some kind of measures to promote and boost the growth. Okay, whatever the bottlenecks are there, we need to analyze. We have seen the core industries growth rate has been reduced. Okay, we have seen, probably you were not there yesterday, Saturday's class. We have discussed, okay, core industries growth rate has been 0.6 or 7%. 0. So there is something and some kind of slowing down is happening. So we need to see why. What is the core issue? So structural reforms has to be taken. So this is what is being discussed here. So I have also given article content on the quantum communication breakthrough in India. So like we have discussed, some major breakthrough has happened. IIT and DRDO, they are able to make this successful quantum cryptography experimentation. So currently, if you have to send your any messages and all, basically they are end-to-end encrypted. Okay, if any person breaks this code, and they are able to see who this guy is texting, not at this level but at a higher level. They don't want to check your messages and stalk on you. They'll check at the higher level, defense level and all. So we don't want that thing to happen. So we need a very safe and secure communication that can happen through the quantum cryptography. So basically this is based on quantum technology where they use the photons. Currently what do we use for the communication purpose? We use the optical fiber cables. So these things can be intercepted. This quantum cryptography is based on the two things which we have already discussed. One thing is qubits. So in the Saturday class we have discussed. And another thing is entanglement. So these photons, for suppose I have sent the message to any one of you candidate. So now if you guys have to open that message, I will tell you the key, encrypted key. Only using that key, you will be able to open message. For suppose some other person got the key. Somehow they are trying to get the information of the key. These are made up of the photons. When they look at the photons, then itself the particles positions will be changed. If there the positions will be changed, these are entangled in such a way, the information at the other places will be displayed because they are entangled. These photons are entangled. So they are very, very safe. Accordingly, we can act on it. So this is the experiment. So this is based on the quantum technologies as well as the entanglement. We have discussed this thing, previously also. So what are the quantum technologies? Basically, this quantum technologies operates on the qubits. At present, traditional computers use the general binary systems 1, 0. Here in the qubits you can use 1 and 0 together. This is the system. Principle of superimposition. That means it is a principle where there in general computers either you can use the binary number 1 or the 0. It's like on or off. Here in the quantum technologies you can keep power on as well as off. That is like a kind of middle state. Like say you have tossed the coin is neither falling this way or this way. It is like this. Head and tail. So you are able to use both the things. Something. For suppose if I have to communicate to one person using the 1 and 0, 1 and 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, like this, people will write the code. Whatever the code that you write, it will be again converted to this information. Whoever might be aware. 1 and 0, only that is the language computers understand. Now there are only 2 bits, 1 and 0. Now you can understand if I can use a combination of 1 and 0 together, I will be able to pass on more information, more things. So this is how quantum technologies are much more ahead. So still those things are going on. Quantum computers in the future we might be able to develop. So here we are focusing on the quantum cryptography to make the communication safer. By 2030 we are expected to make our defense technologies very safe, highly secure using this quantum cryptography. But there are also again challenges. These are made up of the photons. These photons are very difficult to transport. If there is some kind of disturbances, any kind of environmental changes and all, these photons can get disturbed. It is very difficult to transfer the photons. Still there is a need for a lot of technology. So there are those challenges which I have mentioned. So same direct question can be asked, what is this quantum communication? How it works? So I have given this how it works and the limitations. Currently it is very difficult, infrastructure needs and all. It can be used for very short distances, but eventually as we go, the technologies might develop. So this is how we prepare. See here 6 or 7 points. So denial of service attack means, for suppose if you have to open any kind of website, for that website the request will come to open that page. Now I have opened for suppose any website, my own website. So multiple requests are coming. Some thousands of requests are coming to open that site. The server will go down. It will crash. In the same way, it can be used, denial of service attack. Somehow it can be used to destroy the photons, so that I am not able to provide you the secure key. The information. It cannot be hacked, but this information can be disrupted, can be halted. Currently this thing can be possible. So when we study this way, see here we have the limitations, we have the significance. This is how we study. What is the context? When the question comes, discuss about the quantum cryptography, I have to use the introduction. Recently IIT and the DRDO has made this experiment. Only when you set the context which is in the news, then only you will get the marks. By looking at the introduction, evaluator will understand, okay, this person has read the news. That's why he knows the content. He is clear about the content. Okay, it will give the right information. So you may have possibility to get the extra half mark edge. This half mark edge matters a lot. You might be thinking half mark. No, but this half mark. Okay, every question half mark, 10 marks per paper, 40 marks. Okay, many people will lose final cutoff by just 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks. These things can happen. Okay, so those things matter a lot. So government is also doing this here. We have allotted national quantum vision with 6,000 crore from 2023 to 2031. Again, this also highlights why this question is expected, be it in the upcoming mains or the prelims. We do not know whether it will be for sure asked or not, but these are the high possible areas that has potential to be asked. Okay, so prepare well, memorize the content, by heart the content, and understand the content. So both the things are required in the UPSC. You have the clarity of content. At the same time, in the initial phases, like I have mentioned, you need to have the content on your fingertips. You need not recall. Once the content is on your fingertips, then you will be able to reproduce in the exam hall. So initially, by heart, few words, few keywords. Okay, then you will be able to generate the content on by yourself. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.